You're watching Cable 2.
Good evening. Thank you, thank you. It is now 6 o'clock, and keeping with time, we will go ahead and get started for this evening. Um, I think about tonight and the importance of tonight, and this is the culmination of this particular season, but not only this particular season, but a season missed for many of our students. And so I'm thankful and grateful for all of those who have participated this season, coming back out and giving your energy to the academic competition and the purpose of academic competition. For that, I am grateful. I kind of have a few slides going across, and one of them gives the background, again, that purpose of academic competition. And I'll tell you from the years of my experience with this is one of those things like none other. When you see your students, your children participating, academically competing, because it gives me that hope for tomorrow of you guys are our future. And so with that, I say thank you for that continued thirst for knowledge as you compete academically upon one another. So part of tonight is all about the championship match between West Forsyth and Atkins. But then the other piece is to also recognize schools that have participated along the way. So again, as you've seen the slides going across, you've seen that there were at least 10 schools that participated this particular season. We took this season kind of as our trial season to get ourselves back into the groove of competing academically so that next year, one, you guys are out there recruiting other classmates to join the team because it's a fantastic team to join, right? And then two, because we had to work through some of our kinks in getting back into the groove of things. So again, for that, I am thankful. I'd like to always give recognition to our coaches, our head coaches who battle with me, and I appreciate they are patient with me. Thank you so much. Our head coaches, and then our coaches that support your students while they're working through each one of their content areas. For any of the coaches that are in the audience this evening, please stand so that we can recognize you. Thank you, and that is well deserved. One, because the work that goes within it, but keep in mind each one of these persons are serving our students during the day, and then this extracurricular activity for them in the afternoons or after the school day. So for again, I am thankful. The other piece about tonight is recognizing our schools and each content area for which our students participated in. So for those of you who are familiar with our competitions are in the area of English language arts, math, science, social studies, and general knowledge, which is probably my favorite. I seem to do pretty well in that area. Again, thank you, students, because you show off a load of knowledge, and for that I'm thankful. So what I'd like to do is move into the regular season awards. And as I am calling your school for those persons who are here to represent and to pick up the plaque for your school, you can come up top here so that you can get any pictures that you would like to receive for that knowledge. And then I will be on the below end to recognize you. So I'm stepping away. Can you hear me? Yes, wonderful. Hey. So for our English round for the particular season, Atkins. Yes, yes, please do. Is it just gonna be me? That's okay, that's okay. Somebody's wanting to take a picture. Congratulations. Thank you. No. And for the math round, we had a tie this year, so that goes to Atkins and West. Thank you.
Get out of their picture, guys. Get out of the picture.
Face forward. Face forward so you can get a nice shot. Congratulations again. And for science, Reagan High School. I'm sure there were more on the team. We appreciate you coming out. Social Studies, Reynolds. And for general knowledge, Atkins. So again, those plaques that were just shared out to everyone represents each academic area for which students competed during the season. We also have 2 additional awards that go out tonight, and one is to our runner-up team for the season, and that is Reagan High School. And our season champs was Atkins. Atkins, I think you probably need to go. Oh, you're okay? Okay. Oh, wonderful. Yep. Thank you. had a plan in place for which I, before we move into the, like I said, the most important part of tonight, right? Ms. McManus is here tonight, and I wanted her to come up and give a few words. Yeah, I'm putting her on the spot a little bit here. But just as I said, the importance of academic competition, she too shares in that the value of, and so I just wanted her to be able to share some words with you tonight as well. Right here.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I had not planned to come up. I always like to think about what I'm going to say in advance, but it's okay because I can just talk just from my heart about this. And so I'm excited to be here. This will be my first competition, watching this competition, so I cannot wait. And when I walked in and you were getting trophies, I'm like, did I miss it? I hope I didn't miss it. So I'm really glad I did not miss it. No, so you know what? As I look at academic competition, it is critically important that we have students that excel in so many areas in academics. It's just like being part of an athletic competition or an arts competition. It shows another side of the talented students that we have, and we have so many just brilliant kids in our district. And so I'm honored to be here. I'm not going to say anything else because I know you just want to get started. And good luck to both of our finalists, and congratulations to all of our teams that were represented throughout the competition, even those that did not get awarded tonight. Congratulations to all of them. And one of the things I love about this is just the cheering for each other and the praise for each other, no matter who ends up winning and not. And so just thanks for the amazing sportsmanship just in the first few minutes that I've been here watching. So congratulations to everyone, and let's get started. How about that? Let's get started. Thank you, everybody.
Nice share. Ooh. Okay. No problem.
Good evening and welcome. Today's academic finals competition match is between Atkins as the home team and against West Forsyth as the visiting team. I'd like to introduce the officials for the match. The scorekeeper is Mr. Orzillo. The timekeeper is Thomas Basilis. I will be your moderator. I'm Paula Wilkins. I would like to ask everyone to please turn off all electronic devices so that the players are not disturbed during the match. We will play 5 rounds of academic competition in the following order: English, math, science, social studies, and general knowledge. Each round will consist of 4 sets of questions with 1 toss-up and 2 directed questions per set. The toss-up is worth 5 points. The directed question is worth 12. An incorrect answer to a toss-up question that is interrupted will result in a 5-point penalty. The coach may make a substitution once during the round. Good luck to all the players. We are now ready to begin the English round, and as I call your team to introduce yourself, make sure you test your buzzers so we can make sure they're working properly. My mic's not on. Well, let's see. Can you hear me now? Okay, great. Will the members of the West team ring in, introduce yourself, your captain, and your coach?
Catherine Malachi. Christina Purdue, coach and our Captain. Sorry, Captain, and our coach is Mr. Langford. Lydia Darris.
Aiden Walkish.
All right, will the members of the Atkins team ring in, introduce yourself, your captain and your coach?
Isabel Prado. Daisy Gonzalez, our captain, and our coaches are Mr. and Mrs. Vasilis. Emily Lynn. Brock Fuller.
Thank you for both teams. Here is your first toss-up question. Which author wrote the famous novel Dune?
Time.
The correct answer is Frank Herbert. Next toss-up. Which poem begins, "It was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea"?
Annabelle Lee.
That is correct. Atkins, here's your first directed. The following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the following literary devices from these definitions. Part A, a dramatic device in which a character speaks directly to the audience. B, an emotional release of tension built up over the course of a story or a play. C, a plot device in which a seemingly unsolvable conflict is resolved by the sudden addition of an unexpected person or event.
Time.
Part A, we have monologue. For part B, we have climax. And for part C, we have Deus Ex Machina.
Part C is correct. The correct answer for part A is aside, and part B, catharsis. Okay. Sorry, 4 points.
Paul, when you return, Atkins need to turn on the lights. You can't hear him on TV.
I'm sorry. I was like, is he talking to me? Can you hit there's a button
Hello.
that should turn green.
Was
in
it
front
on?
of your mic.
Hi.
Does everybody see a green button? Lit up. Okay, great. Wonderful. All right, now let's for safe. You're directed. The following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the following literary devices from these definitions. Part A, a form of literature portraying a dark future, usually focusing on themes of control and oppression by those in power. Part B, a form of literature that portrays the countryside, farming, or rural life, usually in an idealized manner. Part C, a form of literature portraying dark and picturesque scenery, startling and melodramatic narratives, and an atmosphere of mystery, fear, and dread.
We have our answers. For part A, we have dystopian. For part B, we have pastoral. And for part C, we have macabre.
Parts A and B are correct. The correct answer to part C is Gothic, for a total of 8 points. Your next toss-up question. What is the name of the dog in The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime?
Spike.
That is incorrect.
Time.
The correct answer is Wellington. Next toss-up question. Who is the author of the novel Becoming Naomi Leon, which was a Pura Belfry Honor book in 2006?
Time.
Correct answer is Pam Munoz Ryan. Next toss-up question. What is the literary term for when a character in a play monologue to him or herself while alone or out of,
Soliloquy?
repeat,
Soliloquy?
that is correct. All right, Atkins, your directed question. The following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. For parts A and B, identify the key character from the Epic of Gilgamesh, based on description provided. For parts C and D, identify the memoir based on the description provided. Part A, this character was raised by animals and is the friend and the companion of the main character. Part B, this character is a king and a priest who survived the great deluge by building a giant ship for his family and one of every living creature. Part C, this is a collection of essays about the author's early life in North Carolina, starting with his trip to a speech therapist in 5th grade and how he used elaborate synonyms to avoid saying the letter S. Part D, this memoir is set up as a series of letters the author writes to her daughters, covering everything she thinks they will need to know in life.
Time.
Your answers.
For part A, we have Enkidu. For part B, we have Noah. For part C, we have Far from the Madding Crowd. And for part D, we have, I got nothing.
Part A is correct. The correct answer for part B is Unipushtum. Part C, Me Talk Pretty One Day. Part D, Dear Girls, for a total of 3 points. West Forsyth team, the following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. For parts A and B, identify the key character from the Epic of Gilgamesh, based on description provided. For parts C and D, identify the memoir based on the description provided. Part A, this character runs a ferry across the waters of death. He is the guardian of mysterious stone things. Part B, this character is the king of Uruk. He is strong, virtuous, ambitious, and 2/3 God. Part C, narrator Mitch, feeling frustrated with his life and career, decides to switch from musician to journalist for a Detroit newspaper. Part D, this is the memoir of a Harlem Renaissance era writer. Early in the memoir, the author offers a view into the history and culture of Eatonville, Florida, the author's hometown.
Time.
For part A, we have Charon. For part B, we have Gilgamesh, and we have no answers for C and D.
Part B is correct. The correct answer for part A is Urshanabi. Part C, Tuesdays with Maury. And part D, Dust Tracks on a Road. Next toss-up question. Which poet wrote the poem that begins, Tigger, Tigger, burning bright?
Blake.
That is correct. Atkins, here is your next directive. The following is a three-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the children's book based on the following description. Part A, Malika Madison is forced to help vandalize her teacher's classroom when a group of girls decides to take revenge on their instructor. Part B, Stella Mills and her brother JoJo witness a terrible event one night that causes ripples throughout the community in Bumblebee, North Carolina. Part C, main character Leo is intrigued by an unconventional classmate who joins him at Micah High after years of being homeschooled.
Time.
Okay. Part A, we have Stargirl. For part B, we have How to Steal a Dog. And for part C, we have The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Parts A, B, and C are incorrect. Part A, The Skin I'm In. Part B, Stella by Starlight. Part C, Stargirl. All right, West Forsyth team. The following is a three-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the children's book based on the following description. Part A, after an accident kills her mother and sisters, the main character and her father, Rodeo, travel anywhere but back home in a converted yellow school bus. Part B, Jade is asked to join a woman-to-woman mentoring program in exchange for a college scholarship. Part C, Winnie must decide whether she wishes to live forever or continue her life as normal.
Time.
For part C, we have Tuck Everlasting, and we have no other answers.
Just part C? Okay. The correct answer for part C was correct. And part A is The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise. Part B, Piecing Me Together, for a total of 4 points. Our next toss-up question for the final toss-up for this round. What is the grammatical term for a verb that takes a direct object?
Time.
The correct answer is transitive verb. Next toss-up. What is the famous pen name of Daniel Handler, who wrote a series about the events experienced by a trio of unfortunate orphans?
Lemony Snicket.
That is correct. All right, West Forsyth team, here is your directed question. The following is a three-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the British poet based on the following title. Part A, She Walks in Beauty. Part B, How Do I Love Thee? Sonnet 43. Part C, A Red, Red Rose.
For part A, we have Frost. For part B, we have Shakespeare. And for part C, we have Frost.
All three parts are incorrect. The correct answer to part A is Lord Byron, part B, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, and part C, Robert Burns. Atkins, here is your directive. The following is a three-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the British poet based on the following title. A, The Lady of Shalott. B, The World is Too Much with Us. C, Ode to the West Wind.
Time.
Part A, we have Emily Dickinson. For part B, we also have Emily Dickinson. And for part C, we have Keats.
All three parts are incorrect. The correct answer for part A, Alfred Lord Tennyson. B, Williams Wordsworth. And C, P.B. Shelley. And this concludes our English round of the competition. Current score, Atkins 22 and West Forsyth 20.
Is there more graph paper?
Sorry? And Atkins, use your mics.
And bring them close to you that you can move them a little, that might help. Because they're recording it, they need to pick up your audio. All right, will the members of the West Forsyth team ring in, introduce yourself, your captain and your coach.
Lindsay Griffith. Peyton Putnam, captain, and our coach is Lisa Putnam.
Oh, wait a second. I was on the wrong list. I was like, none of the children showing up. Okay. I got Lindsay, Putnam, or Griffith.
Griffith.
Okay. And I heard Putnam, and then one more I missed.
Hank Ewing.
I still,
Jones Doom.
gotcha. All right, Atkins.
Robert Fuss.
Gosel Mirzazadeh, captain, and our coach is Mr. Goodson.
Vikas Sarvasian.
Fahad Janjua.
All right, your first toss-up question. Two tangents to a circle from an external point intersect a major arc of 280 degrees. What is the measure of the angle formed by the two tangents?
$40 degrees.
That is incorrect.
140 degrees.
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is 100 degrees. Next toss-up question. Given that the log base 6 of 8 plus the log base 6 of 3 is equal to the log base 6 of x, what is the value of x?
24.
That is correct. All right, Atkins, your directive is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Consider the 4 functions. F of x is equal to x squared plus 2 times x. G of x is equal to the square root of the quantity of x plus 2. H of x is equal to the square root of the quantity of x minus 2. And J of x is equal to the square root of the quantity of 4 minus x.
That's not what the question.
Oh, sorry. Part A. I was like, something's missing. Part A, find the composition of f of g of x. Part B, state the domain of f of g of x. Part C, find the composition of h of j of x. Part D, state the domain of h of j of x.
Time.
We have our answers. For part A, we have 3x plus 2. For part B, we have negative 2 to infinity. For part C, we have the square root of the quantity of the square root of the quantity 4 minus x, all minus 2. And then for part D, we have negative infinity to 0.
Parts B, C, and D are correct. The correct answer to part A is x plus 2 square root of x plus 2. West Forsyth team. This is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Consider the 4 functions. F of x is equal to x squared plus 2 times x. G of x is equal to the square root of the quantity of x plus 2. H of x is equal to the square root of the quantity of x minus 2. And J of x is equal to the square root of the quantity of 4 minus x. Part A, find the composition of G of f of x. Part B, state the domain of G of f of x. Part C, find the composition of J of h of x. And part D, state the domain of J of h of x.
Time.
For part A, we have the square root of x, the quantity x squared plus 2x plus 2. For part B, we have 0 to infinity. For part C, we have the square root of 4 minus the quantity square root of quantity x minus 2. And for part D, we have negative infinity to 18.
So parts A and C are correct. The correct answer to part D is negative infinity, infinity, or all real numbers. And for part D is 2, 18, or 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 18, for a total of 6 points. Your next toss-up question. Within 3 degrees, how many degrees is 1 radian?
Yes.
180 degrees.
That is incorrect.
55 degrees.
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is 57.3. Well, Okay, yes. Okay, I didn't see that second part, so that's correct. Your next toss-up. Your next directive. All right, Atkins, this is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Find the indefinite integral of the following. Be sure to finish your answer to each part with a plus C. Part A, d of dx times 1 divided by x raised to the 5th power. Part B, dx times the quantity of 2 times sine of x minus 5 times e raised to the x. Part C, dx times x times the cube root of the quantity of 3 minus 8x squared.
Time.
We have our answers. For part A, we have negative x to the negative 6th power over 6 plus c. For part B, we have negative 2 cosine of x minus 5 e to the x plus c. And for part C, we have negative 3 over 64 of the quantity 3 minus 8x squared, all to the 4/3 power plus c.
Can you read that last one more time?
Yes, negative 3 over 64 times the quantity of 3 minus 8x squared, all raised to the 4/3 power plus c.
Okay, thank you. Parts B and C are correct. Part A is negative 1 over 4x to the 4th plus c, or negative 1 4x to the negative 4 plus c, for a total of 8 points. West Forsyth, this is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Find the indefinite integral of the following. Be sure to finish your answer to each part with a plus C. Part A, dx times the cube root of the quantity of x squared. Part B, dx times the quantity of cosine of x plus 3 raised to the x. Part C, dx times x squared times the square of quantity of 3 times x to the 3rd plus 2.
Time.
For part A, we have 3/5 times x to the 5/3 power plus c. For part B, we have sine of x plus 1 over the natural log of 3 times 3 to the x plus c. And for part C, we have 1/2 times x to the 6th plus 2/3 times x to the 3rd plus c.
Parts A is correct. Parts B and C are incorrect. Part B is sine of x plus 3x over 1n times 3 plus c. Part C is 1 over 27, 3x to the 3rd power plus 2 to the 3rd power plus c.
Part B.
Sure. You good? Okay, so then for part B, the total points would be 8 points for West Forsyth. All right, next toss-up question. What is the limit as x approaches 2 of the rational expression with a numerator of x squared minus 4 and the denominator of x minus 2? Wes?
4.
That is correct. West Forsyth, this is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Find the volume of the following shapes. Part A, a cube that has a lateral area of 100 square feet. Part B, a square pyramid with a base side of 3 feet and altitude of 10 feet. Part C, a cylinder with a diameter of 10 inches and a height of 7 inches. Leave your answer in terms of pi.
Time.
For part A, we have 1,000 feet cubed. For part B, we have 30 feet cubed. And for part C, we have 175 pi feet cubed.
Parts B and C are correct. The correct answer for part A is 125 feet cubed for a total of 8 points. Atkins, this is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Find the volume of the following shapes. Part A, a cylinder with a lateral area of 24 pi inches and a height of 3 inches. Leave your answer in terms of pi. Part B, a right triangle prism with an altitude of 3 inches and base legs of 8 and 12 inches. Part C, a sphere with a radius of 6 inches. Leave your answers in terms of pi.
Time.
For part A, we have 72 pi. For part B, we have 288. And for part C, we have 288 pi.
Part C is correct. Part A is 48 pi. Are y'all okay if they don't do inches cubed? Okay. 48 pi inches cubed. Part B, 144 inches cubed for a total of 4 points. Next toss-up question. What is the contrapositive to the statement, if a team is in the finals, then the team is on TV?
If the team is not on TV, they are not in the finals.
You got it. All right, Atkins team. This is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Consider the first 10 letters of the alphabet. How many 3-letter codes can be made for each of the following conditions? Part A, no repetitions are allowed. Part B, letters may be repeated. Part C, the word B, spelled B-E, must be found in the code and repetitions are allowed.
We have our answers.
Okay.
For part A, we have 720. For part B, we have 1,000. And for part C, we have 20.
All three parts are correct. For a total of 12 points. West Forsyth team, this is a three-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Consider the first 8 letters of the alphabet. How many 4-letter codes can be made for each of the following conditions? Part A, no repetitions are allowed. Part B, letters may repeat. Part C, the word fed, spelled F-E-D, must be found in the code and repetitions are not allowed.
Time.
For part A, we have 1,680. For part B, we have 256, and for part C, we have 8.
Part A is correct. Parts B and C are incorrect. Correct answer for part B is 4,096 codes, and part C 10 codes, for a total of 4 points. This now concludes the math round of the competition. Can we have all our students of science to please come forward? Would the members of the West Forsyth team ring in, introduce yourself, your captain and your coach?
Peyton Putnam.
Maxwell Smosna, and our coach is Carl Koval. I am the captain, sorry.
Victoria Waddell.
Hank Ewing.
Thank you very much. Members of the Atkins team, please ring in, introduce yourself, your captain and your coach.
Marcello Risigliano.
Karen Kalpashwari, captain, and our coach is Miss Stone.
Anthony Gooden.
Brock Fuller.
All right, your first toss-up question. What term is used for the rate in a change in velocity?
Acceleration.
That is correct. Atkins team, here is your first directed question. The following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the type of volcano based on the following description. Part A, this type of volcano has very steep slopes. Part B, this type of volcano has a broad base and gently sloping sides. Part C, this type of volcano has alternating layers of hardened lava flows and pyroclastic materials.
We have our answers. For part A, we have caldera. For part B, we have shield. And for part C, we have soma.
Part B is correct. The correct answers for part A is cinder cone, part C composite, for a total of 4 points. West Forsyth team, the following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the type of dune based on the following description. Part A, this type of dune forms long ridges that lie parallel to the direction of the wind. Part B, this type of crescent-shaped dune forms from strong winds. Part C, this type of dune resembles a U-shaped parabola.
Time.
Okay, so we have ridge for A, we have sandy hill for B, and for C we have, hi Fahad.
All three answers are incorrect. The correct answer for part A is longitudinal, part B, Barkan, part C, parabolic. Next toss-up question. What term is used for an object shot through the air? Atkins team,
Projectile.
that is correct. Atkins, you're directed. The following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Identify the polyatomic ion based on the following formulas. A, NO2 to the negative 1. B, HCO3 to the negative 1. C, CiO4 to the negative 2. Let me read that again. ClO4 to the negative 2. Part D, PO4 to the negative 3.
We have our answers. For part A, we have nitrite. For part B, we have hydrocarbonate, and for part C, we have perchlorate, and for part D, we have phosphate.
So coaches, I'm gonna ask before I respond to B, will you accept it?
I'd like you to repeat it.
Can you repeat part B one more time?
Hydrogen carbonate.
Okay.
Excuse me.
All right, part A, B, and C are correct for a total of 12 points.
9. 4-part question.
It's 4 parts. They got all 4.
Oh, I thought you said this ABs.
No, I asked the coaches, so I wanted to make sure before I responded to them. No, that's okay. All right, West Forsyth, the
What is-
following.
What is the answer to D?
What
is
did
the
you
answer?
say for D?
Phosphate?
All 4 parts were correct.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to check on B. That's what I was checking on because when you responded, you said hydro,
Yeah.
and then when you corrected, you said hydrogen, and so that's what I was asking the judges. All right. Next question for West Forsyth. The following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Identify the polyatomic ion based on the following formulas. Part A, SO4 to the negative 2. Part B, MnO4 to the negative 1. Part C, CrO4 to the negative 2. Part D, CO3 to the negative 2.
We have our answers. For part A, for part A, we have sulfate. For part B, we have permanganate. For part C, we have chromate. And for part D, we have carbonate.
All 4 parts are correct for 12 points. Next toss-up question.
Substitution questions.
Okay. If you could just ring in and provide your name, please.
Jones Doom.
Thank you so much. Next toss-up. What scientists discovered the relationship between work done and the change in energy?
Joule.
That is correct. Atkins team, the following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the specific type of fossil based on the following description. Part A, fossilized dung or waste materials. Part B, stones from the digestive tracts of dinosaurs. Part C, fossils often left by shells.
We have our answers. For part A, we have ratio of refraction. For part B, we have Bezoar. And for part C, we also have ratio of refraction.
All 3 parts are incorrect. Part A is caprolites, part B, gastroliths, and part C, molds. West Forsyth team, the following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the specific type of fossil based on the following description. Part A, when sand or mud fills a mold and hardens to form a replica of the original organism. Part B, fossils that display only the surface feature of the organism. Part C, fossils that form when minerals replace all of the part of an organism.
Okay, we have our answers. For part A, we have that funny fossil that forms when it happens. For part B, we have mold, and for part C, we have calcification.
All 3 parts are incorrect. Part A is cast, part B is imprint, and part C is petrified. All right, next toss-up question. What term is used for the energy required to melt 1 kilogram of substance?
Specific heat.
That is incorrect.
Calorie?
That's also incorrect. The correct answer is heat of fusion. The next toss-up question. In addition to the acceleration due to gravity, what other value determines the period of a pendulum?
Length.
That is correct. All right, Atkins team, the following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the type of chemical reaction based on the following description. Part A, sodium and chlorine are combined to form table salt. Part B, wood is burned in the presence of oxygen. Part C, silver is precipitated out of the solution of silver nitrate when a copper wire is added.
We have our answers. For part A, we have synthesis. For part B, we have combustion. And for part C, we have redox.
That is correct. All 3 parts for 12 points. West Forsyth team, the following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Identify the type of chemical reaction based on the following description. Part A, sugar is broken down, forming carbon and water. Part B, sodium carbonate is reacted with calcium nitrate, forming a calcium carbonate precipitate. Part C, gasoline is burned in the presence of oxygen.
We have our answers. For part A, we have decomposition. For part B, we have single replacement. And for part C, we have combustion.
Parts A and C are correct. The correct answer to part B is double replacement or double displacement for a total of 8 points. And this concludes the science round of the competition. Will students for social studies please come forward? There, I have some more over here. That's okay. Anybody need more paper? Yeah, no, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. Will the members of the West Forsyth team bring in, introduce yourself, your coach and your captain, please?
Holden Schmidt.
Christina Purdue, captain, and our coach is Ms. Bentley.
Daniel Bryant. Tyler McIntosh.
Thank you so much. Members of the West Forsyth team, I mean, not West Forsyth, I just said West Forsyth. Atkins team, ring in, introduce yourself and your coach and your captain.
Tyler Eisner.
Edwin Cruz Castillo, captain, and our coach is Mr. Arzillo.
Caden Snyder.
Gavin Bramer.
Thank you so much. Our first toss-up for social studies. In 1973, who became the first baseball player of Latino descent to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Hernandez.
That is incorrect.
Time.
The correct answer is Roberto Clemente. Next toss-up question. What law, passed during the Progressive Era, prohibited the sale of misbranded or adulterated food and late...
The Pure Food and Drug Act.
That is correct. All right, Atkins. The following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Name in no particular order the 4 U.S. states that meet at the Four Corners area.
We have our answers. For part A, we have Colorado, or I guess for the 4, we have Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona.
All 4 parts are correct for 12 points. West Forsyth team, the following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Name in no particular order the 4 U.S. states that border Texas.
Louisiana, Arkansas. Arkansas, Louisiana.
We have our answers. We have New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana.
All 4 parts are correct. Our next toss-up question. What type of economics concentrates on the behavior of the economy as a whole?
Macroeconomics.
You got it. West Forsyth team, the following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Which senator holds the leadership position below? Part A, majority Democratic leader. Part B, minority Republican leader. Part C, president pro tempore. Part D, majority whip.
Leahy, Durbin, because McConnell, Schumer, McConnell, Leahy, and then Durbin. Schumer, McConnell, Leahy, Durbin.
We have our answers. For part A, we have Schumer. For part B, we have McConnell. For part C, we have Leahy. And for part D, we have Durbin.
Durbin.
All 4 parts are correct for 12 points. Atkins team, the following is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Which representative holds the leadership position below? Part A, Speaker of the House. Part B, Majority Whip. Part C, Minority Republican Leader. Part D, Minority Whip.
We have some answers. So part A, we have Nancy Pelosi. Part B, we have Washington. Part C, we have Lincoln. And part D, we have Jefferson.
Part A is correct. For 3 points, sorry. Part B is Clyburn. Part C, McCarthy. Part D, Scalise. All right. Please ring in and introduce yourself.
Aiden Walkish.
Thank you so much. Our next toss-up question. In which state do Hispanics make up the largest racial and ethnic group? Atkins.
Texas.
That is incorrect.
New Mexico.
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is California. Next toss-up. What can a judge issue which restricts what journalists can report about a trial? Atkins.
Affidavit.
That is incorrect.
Time.
The correct answer is a gag order. Next toss-up. What law protects federal employees from retaliation if they disclose information about violations of law, rules, regulations, or abuses of power?
The Whistleblower Act.
That is absolutely correct. All right, West Forsyth team, the following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Under which president did the following military engagements occur? Part A, the Vietnam War. Part B, Mexican-American War. Part C, Bosnian War.
We have our answers. For part A, we have LBJ, or Johnson. For part B, we have Polk. For part C, we have Bush.
Parts A and B are correct for 8 points. The correct answer is for part C is Bill Clinton. Atkins team, the following is a 3-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Under which president did the following military engagements occur? Part A, the Korean War. Part B, the Persian Gulf War, Desert Storm. Part C, the Spanish-American War.
Okay, for part A, we have Eisenhower. For part B, we have Bush. For part C, we have Tyler.
So before I respond, coaches, for one of the part answers, do you expect a full name? Yes. Okay.
W. Bush. Is that what you
So
want?
all three parts are incorrect. Part A is Truman. Part B is George H.W. Bush. Part C is Theodore Roosevelt or Teddy Roosevelt. All right, next toss-up question. What name was used for the research and development of nuclear weapons?
Manhattan Project.
That is correct. Atkins. The following is a three-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Name the person who currently holds the following cabinet positions. Part A, Secretary of State. Part B, Secretary of Treasury. Part C, Secretary of Transportation.
So we have an answer. For part C, we have Buttigieg.
Part C is correct. The correct answer for Part A is Blinken. Part B, Yellen, and that's a total of 4 points. West Forsyth. The following is a three-part question. Each part is worth 4 points. Name the person who currently holds the following cabinet positions. Part A, Secretary of Defense. Part B, Attorney General. Part C, Secretary of Energy.
We have answers. For part A, we have Johnson. For part B, we have Garland. And for part C, we have Smith.
Part B is correct for 4 points. The correct answer for Part A, Lloyd Austin. Part C, Jennifer Grinnell. And this concludes the social studies portion. Will the students for the general knowledge portion please come forward? All right, West Forsyth team, please ring in, introduce yourself, your captain, and your coach.
Holden Schmidt.
Christina Purdue.
Daniel Bryant, captain, and our coach is Mr. Memory.
Maxwell Smosna.
Atkins team, ring in, introduce yourself, your coach, and your captain.
Saeed Rango.
Archer Graham.
Jackson Lackey, captain, and our coach is Mr. Duga.
Elizabeth Shahid.
All right, first toss-up question. What's the name of the puzzle video game created by Soviet engineer?
Tetris.
That is absolutely correct. All right, West Forsyth team, this is a 6-part question. Each part's worth 2 points. Provide the state capital for the state that shares its postal abbreviation with the abbreviation of the chemical element provided. For example, the element scandium has the abbreviation of SC, which is the abbreviation for South Carolina. So the correct answer would be Columbia, which is the capital of South Carolina. Part A, argon. Part B, neon. Part C, indium. Part D, fluorovium. Part E, lanthanum. Part F, manganese.
I got Little Rock, I got Lincoln, is that Jacksonville or is that Tallahassee? Tallahassee? Hey, Tallahassee. Okay, that's Boise, and then, what's E? And then?
Time.
Okay. We have our answers. We have Little Rock, we have Lincoln, we have Boise, Tallahassee, St. Paul, and Boston.
Parts A, B, and D are correct. The correct answer for part C is Indianapolis, part E, Baton Rouge, part F, St. Paul, for a total of 6 points. Atkins team, this is a 6-part question. Each part is worth 2 points. Provide the state capital for the state that shares its postal abbreviation with the abbreviation of the chemical element provided. For example, the element scandium has the abbreviation of SC, which is the abbreviation for South Carolina. So the correct answer would be Columbia, which is the capital of South Carolina. Part A, aluminum. Part B, meitnerium. Part C, cobalt. Part D, calcium. Part E, mendelebium. Part F, gallium.
Time.
Okay. For part A, we have Montgomery. For part B, we have Chicago. For part C, we have Denver. For part D, we have Sacramento. For part E, we have Winston-Salem. And for part F, we have Atlanta.
Parts A, C, D, and F is correct for 8 points. The correct answer to part B is Helena. Part E, Annapolis. Okay. All right, our next toss-up question. Who was the U.S. president when electricity was installed in the White House in 1891?
Grover Cleveland.
That is incorrect.
Time.
The correct,
My buzzer didn't work.
okay, go for it, go for it. I hadn't said an answer. Go for it.
McKinley?
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is Benjamin Harrison. Next toss-up question. When was the Mustang first introduced by the Ford Motor Company? Atkins.
1923.
That is incorrect. What?
1951.
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is 1964. Next toss-up. How many eyelids does a cat have on each eye?
2.
That's incorrect.
1.
That's also incorrect. The correct answer is 3. Next toss-up. In which caste would you most likely find a Hindu priest?
Time.
The correct answer is Brahman Varna. Next toss-up question. What Greek inventor and mathematician died during the siege of Syracuse in 212 BC?
Pythagoras.
That is incorrect.
Aristotle.
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is Archimedes. Next toss-up. What is the full name of the NHL team in Raleigh?
The Carolina Hurricanes.
That is correct. Atkins, this is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Given the Disney princess, name the prince or character that the princess falls in love with. Part A, Cinderella. Part B, Aurora. Part C, Ariel. Part D, Mulan.
Is it Prince Charming? Is that Aurora? Ariel was C.
I didn't watch any of these movies.
Okay, sure. Sure, why not? I believe we have our answers. For part A, we have Prince Charming. For part B, we have Beast. For part C, we have Flynn. And for part D, we have Shang.
What was part C again?
Flynn.
So parts A and D are correct. The correct answer to part B is Prince Philip. Part C is Prince Eric, for a total of 6 points. West Forsyth. This is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. Given the Disney princess, name the prince or character that the princess falls in love with. Part A, Belle. Part B, Jasmine. Part C, Pocahontas. Part D, Tiana.
Time.
For A, we have Beast. For B, we have Aladdin. For C, we have John Smith. And for D, we have Johnson.
Parts A, B, and C are correct for a total of 9 points. The correct answer to part D is Prince Naveen. Next toss-up question. What is the name of the very tall yellow animal in Sesame Street?
Big Bird.
That's correct. All right, Atkins, this is a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. It's time to combine literature with math. For each part, you will be given 2 book titles and the authors. Each title will have a blank that represents a number in its title. Multiply the 2 blanks together to get the answer for each part. Part A, Catch Blank by Joseph Keller and Fahrenheit Blank by Ray Bradbury. Part B, Blank Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne and Blank Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Part C, Blank Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey and Blank by David McCullough. The second blank is a year describing the surroundings around the start of a war, and the book is nonfiction. Part D, Blank Years in Tibet by Henrik Harrer and Walk Blank Moons by Sharon Creech.
We have our answers. For part A, we have 9,922. For part B, we have 28,000. For part C, we have Hey Dr. Nichols. For part D, we have, and for part E, we have 8. Sorry, D, we have 8.
You have what? What was
D
D?
is 8.
Okay. Part A is correct for 3 points. Parts B, C, and D were incorrect. Part B is 2 million. Part C, 1776. Part D, 14. West Forsyth team, this is also a 4-part question. Each part is worth 3 points. It's time to combine literature with math. For each part, you will be given 2 book titles and the authors. Each title will have a blank that represents a number in its title. Multiply the 2 blanks together to get the answer for each part. Part A, Slaughterhouse Blank by Kirk Vonnegut and Blank by George Orwell. The second blank is a year after 1970. Part B, Around the World in Blank Days by Jules Verne and Blank Space Odyssey by Arthur Clarke. Part C, Blank Musketeers by Alexander Dumas and Blank Dalmatians by Dottie Smith. Part D, I Am Number Blank by Pittacus Lore and Blank Cousins by Louisa May Alcott.
We have our answers. For A, we have 9,920. For 2, we have 374 bazillion. For C, we have 303. And for D, we have 20.
Parts A and C are correct for a total of 6 points. The correct answer to part B is 160,080. Part D is 32. All right.
Who's staying?
All right, please ring in with your name.
Jax Mosna.
I'll be captain. I don't know if you want me to ring in.
What did you say?
I'm gonna be captain now.
Oh.
I don't know if you want me to ring in, but I was.
No, you're fine, you're fine. All right, next toss-up question. Which constitutional amendment gives U.S. citizens the right to bear arms? West.
2.
That is
That's the
correct.
Second Amendment.
Yes, that is correct. I had to like process this. All right, this is a 6-part question. Each part is worth 2 points. Given the United States National Park, name the state that the park is located. A, Biscayne. B, Carlsbad Cavern. C, Crater Lake. D, New River Gorge. E, Redwood. F, Voyagers or Voyageurs.
Time.
For part A, we have New York. For part B, we have Alabama. For part C, we have Virginia. For part D, we have Illinois. For part E, we have California. And for part F, we have congratulations, Atkins.
Part E is correct for 2 points. Part A is Florida. Part B, New Mexico. Part C, Oregon. Part D, West Virginia. And Part F, Minnesota. Atkins team, this is a 6-part question. Each part is worth 2 points. Given the United States National Park, name the state that the park is located. Part A, Acadia. Part B, Arches. Part C, Badlands. Part D, Mammoth Cave. Part E, Mount Rainier. Part F, White Sands.
I think I can get us. Okay, we have our answers. For part A, we have Maine. For part B, we have Utah. For part C, we have South Dakota. For part D, we have Kentucky. For part E, we have Washington. And for part F, we have Good Match West.
So parts A, B, C, D, and E are all correct for 10 points. Part F, the correct answer is New Mexico. And I just want to say to both teams, you guys are amazing. And it was my pleasure and honor to be here with you guys. An excellent match. Congratulations to all schools, teams, and students, and congratulations, Atkins. Academic competition team winners and West Forsyth for a great run this year as well. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Wright. Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. Yes, yes. Can you hear me? Thank you so much, Dr. Wilkins. Ladies and gentlemen, you see how well these teams, oh my goodness, wasn't it phenomenal? They impressed me so. I was sitting here listening as you guys were moving through general knowledge, and usually I do pretty well with it. The only one that I got tonight was the Mustang. Me and the dad over here. That was the only one I got. But again, she mentioned it, we said again, I did not give you thanks earlier, parents, but I appreciate you too, because without you, your babes would not be here with participating, active, engaged. So thank you as well. So as mentioned, congratulations to both teams. And if I can get West Forsyth team to please come up to the stage so I can present you with your trophy. Congratulations. if you'll just hold tight while they get pictures. Oh, you're good, you're good. Okay. Oh. How many on the West team are seniors? Oh, congratulations and thank you. You guys get me all touchy. And for the Atkins team, here we go. Come on up to the stage. Thank you.
Keep that up. Yes, let me see those seniors. Oh, these. Thank you all. Thank you all so much and good night.
Thank you for joining us on your school channel, Cable 2.